Want to hear the best mental health tip that there is on the market? From me, a licensed therapist in Colorado. This is going to come as a shock to you all, I think, but it's something that as a therapist, I realized over time and am continually realizing. I was reading The Gift of Therapy by Irvin Yalom, and one of the things that I read today was about why people do what they do. So there's a lot of theories out there about why we do what we do. At least I see it on the internet. Plus there's like a whole bunch of like research, right, that previous like psychoanalysts or whatever have theorized about why people do what they do. And we as therapists love the scavenger hunt of figuring out why you do what you do. And I think even in today's society, the average person is also loving why they do what they do, right? I know a lot of clients who have done a lot of research on their own before they even get to me. And what I found really interesting about what Irvin said was about how change is honestly so freaking mysterious. That's why I have my podcast, The Therapy Alchemist, because I think that change is magical. And there are all these people who are like all sciencey who want to know the details of like, how did that change occur, right? Because we as creatures love to know the why behind everything, because that gives us like a sense of control, right? Like if things are happening and we don't know why, then ugh. But what he argued is that we shouldn't take explanations too seriously. And the reason for that is because there's not an absolute truth. Which is like, what? Especially when it comes to the human mind, right? Like it is literally all about perception. And so that's why you can have multiple siblings or twins who grew up in the exact same household and yet have way different experiences with their parents, right? Even though their parents tried their best to treat everyone the exact same, right? Like it is all about our perception. And it's also why when you go to therapy and your therapist gives you a new perspective on something, you're like, oh my God, I never saw it that way. And now everything in your life has changed. And so what's really healing about therapy is the therapeutic relationship. It's the one that you have with your therapist, where you have somebody who says, I am so fucking curious about you, and I want to problem solve all of this, and I want to analyze all of it, and I want to know who you are. And that in itself is love, right? And maybe that's taboo to say, but I've absolutely told my clients I love them because I do. And I think that it's so important to recognize that like being seen and having your life witnessed is the most powerful tool of everything. And so the next time that you're looking into your attachment style or wondering if you're like recreating your old home life by the partners that you choose, I mean, does it actually matter? Maybe. But there can be multiple truths at once. So it could be a whole slew of things as to why you can't find your partner or why your relationship's not working or why you continue to drink. Or maybe it's none of them. All that matters is that you go on this journey of self-discovery. That's it. That's it. Change is not something that we can really, truly study. And they've tried. I've read books on it, but it's still pretty magical. So now if you're asking, well, what's the point of therapy? Well, I don't know the exact percentage because, again, this is like very hard to conceptualize or to study or to empirically describe. But I would guess 80% of the healing that comes from therapy comes from your relationship with your therapist. And that's always so baffling. And I always have a lot of new clients that come in and they want very clear results. They want a clear path to everything. And I totally fucking get it. Because if you've been dealing with an issue for a while, you're like, I need somebody to fucking know how to get out of this, right? And as a therapist, it is our job to guide you through this. However, it's not this clear path. And what you find along the way is that it wasn't the path all along. There are things in there that can help, but it really is just having somebody see you and be like, I totally get it. And carry that hope for you. Because I know often whenever we're in a pit of despair and we are struggling with something really, really deep, hope is nowhere to be found. And so as a therapist, I view it as my job to carry that hope for them. And you know what? It's worked out most of the time. And it's not because I come up with some, I don't know, miraculous discovery. You know, like when I think I have a miraculous discovery in sessions with clients, that is not their takeaway. And I'm like, what? This is amazing. I just problem solved this whole thing. And they're like, yeah, that's not what I noticed. It was this other thing you said last week. And I'm like, what? I don't even remember saying that. You know, it's like, it's just, it is a relationship that they have with me, you know, and I find it also intriguing that they will tell me, you know, oh, I heard your voice in my head before I went and did that. And I was like, okay, I got to do this because otherwise, you know, Katrina, I'm going to have to tell Katrina that I did this, so I didn't do it. That's not a tool. That's not a theory, right? It's just they care about my relationship with them and they want to do better for themselves and for me. And that's pretty fucking awesome. Even though they know that they can come to me at any time and be like, I just fucking did something horrible. And I'll be like, okay, and, you know, like, I get it. Tell me more about that. Maybe we shouldn't do that next time, you know, but like, it's relationships that are healing, you guys. And in today's society, all we're focused on is our phones, which is not real connection, by the way. Or we're setting boundaries and pushing everyone away and like being very self-centered and only caring about what makes us comfortable. And we're just separated and we're isolated. And I wonder if that's not why we're all freaking miserable. But then again, it's all about perception. So I want to know what you guys think about this, right? It's all about perception. So how do you perceive all of this? Put it in the comments below and hit that follow button. Also, check out my podcast, The Therapy Alchemist. I've got some cool interviews coming up that I think you guys are really going to like.